Welcome to the Face-to-Face. I'm your host, Genevieve Kyle-Lefebvre. The Face-to-Face is a bilingual series of video recorded in Coquitlam. We acknowledge that Coquitlam is located on the ancestral unceded territory of the Coquitlam. We thank the Coquitlam people who continue to live on these lands and care for them along with the waters and that is above and below. Today we are welcoming Meredith Areskoug. And Meredith is working for PADS, which stands for Pacific Assistant Dog Society. And Meredith, you are the media and the development coordinator at PADS. So welcome.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you. I know we have a lot to talk about because you guys are doing fantastic things for everybody here in the Tri-Cities that are needing those beautiful creatures. So first question for you. So what is PADS? I want to know what it is, what it stands for, and what you guys do, and who do you guys help in the Tri-Cities?
Okay. So as you mentioned, Pacific Assistance Dog Society. We've been in the Burnaby region for over 37 years. And we actually breed, raise, and train service dogs for people with disabilities, people that are hearing disabilities, as well as PTSD service dogs. And then we also train accredited facility dogs, which we can talk about more as well. So yeah, and all of that is to say that we rely on volunteers, and many volunteers come from the Tri-City areas, and we do appreciate those individuals and their families so much that help turn little baby puppies into amazing superheroes to help within the community.
Oh, fantastic. So how PADS dogs are raised and trained to assist individuals with disabilities or other needs?
So it's a bit of a process. So actually it really starts in the whelping area, where the babies are born with the mama, and there's a series of activities that the whelping home does to build resilience in the pups. So we're always making sure that we have the animal's best welfare in mind when we do this. So gentle stimulation to improve the nervous system and things like that, even from the very beginning. At 8 weeks, they go to their foster families, where they spend the next sort of 17 months learning the ropes, as we call it. So they're in their puppyhood, they're learning their manners, they're learning some very basic skills of puppy obedience, if you will. And that's where it goes. They go out into the community, the families take them to the schools, to grocery stores. They go everywhere with the family to make sure that they understand what's good puppy behavior out in public, so that when they are eventually placed in their working environment, then they just seamlessly blend into their client's life, walk beside them, either in the client in the wheelchair or anything really, to make sure that they are the best companion they can be for the people that need them.
Yeah. So what kind of dog, what type of dogs people usually need to assist?
So we generally at PADS use retrievers. So that's golden retrievers and Labrador retrievers. Generally though, we do have a majority of Labrador retrievers, the ones that aren't as fluffy, but we do often find that a mix of both really actually make a perfect temperament. So golden retrievers have that beautiful softness about them that everybody loves. And then the Labrador retriever, they have a willingness to, please people, and they want to work. They really want to work. And we want to make sure that these dogs are healthy, happy, and their welfare is taken into consideration before they're ever placed with a client, so that we know that we've got good teams out there doing good work and making sure that everybody is healthy and happy.
Now I want to talk about what are the dogs, how do they help people with mobility challenges, or I even read about postpartum PTSD.
Okay, so our mobility clients, depending upon their needs, will be in manual chairs, motorized chairs. Some will use arm braces to assist with their mobility. And we want to make sure that they are placed with a dog that has the special skills that can help them in their daily life. For example, I might drop something on the ground. People in various states of mobility may not be able to reach down and pick that item up off the ground. The dog is trained to pick that item up the ground and put it back in that person's hand, so that, you know, they don't have to ask somebody passing by to help them. It gives a sense of independence. And so honestly, other things that can happen, the dogs can be trained to open and close doors. They can be trained to help take off clothing, so the dog can pull on the jacket arm and help that individual take the jacket off. So mobility dogs have the highly specialized skills, and they do tend to take a little bit longer to train, and our waiting lists for these dogs are tending to be a little bit longer. Our new program, well, not new, it's since 2018, we've been training what's known as PTSD dogs, post-traumatic stress disorder. And these dogs have very specialized skills where they interrupt behaviors. Certain symptoms of PTSD involve a worrying type behavior, and these dogs are trained to interrupt that behavior. They're by bumping them with their nose, or just generally reminding that individual that they are there, and they can focus something on the dog instead of what maybe has them spiraling into another state. So another thing is that these dogs can also act as barriers. So if you're uncomfortable in a crowd, then you can have the dog placed in front of you or behind you to provide a barrier around yourself. You know that your dog has got you, if you will. So yeah, so the PTSD program is very successful in the last few years. We've been placing all over BC, and it's been amazing. I have seen truly some beautiful, beautiful partnerships where individuals have come back from difficulties and are able to rejoin their communities in ways that they had not in the past without these dogs. So I'm very honored to be a part of this organization and to help these people within their community come back from a difficult time. And so yeah, I'm really happy about this. This is wonderful.
I can see how that's changing people's life. It's amazing to have this like locally here, definitely. Now I want to talk a little bit about hearing impairment. So how do the dog help with people that needs help, specifically when we talk about hearing?
So our dogs are trained to alert to various sounds. So you think about the different sounds during the day, that, you know, your cell phone ringing, the doorbell going, a baby crying, all these different sounds. If you are impaired, if your hearing is impaired, you will not necessarily hear those things. So day-to-day simple tasks like that, the dog can alert you. More important tasks, such as letting you know that a smoke alarm is going off. Dogs can be trained specifically to let that individual know that the smoke detector is going off. It's a different cue than anything else, so that that individual and the dog can get out of the environment so that they are safe and protected. So the fire alarm is something very important that we all know. Fire alarms going off. You may not know that if you are hearing impaired. Those that have cochlear implants, take them out to sleep. So when they cannot hear during the night, a dog can alert them to sounds in the night that they may not be able to hear at all if they would be able to hear them during the day due to the technology that they have. So these dogs play a vital role in keeping people safe as well.
Oh, I can totally see how like they become other people's ears, and yeah, probably, like you said, like saving people's life. It's amazing. Now, what are the roles of the dog that plays in schools, RCMPs, and other community professional in the Tri-Cities? So
our other streams, so we have different streams. We have, as we mentioned, we have our mobility assistance dogs, our hearing assistance dogs, our PTSD assistance dogs. We also train what's known as AFDs, or accredited facility dogs. These dogs are placed with community professionals in various settings, like you've mentioned, hospitals, schools, RCMP offices, to help professionals with caring for the public. So, for example, we have dogs in schools. They may work alongside a principal or a school counselor that maybe has time during the day with some students that just need that little extra love and attention that really only a dog can give. I mean, like, look at this, look at that face. And there's no judgment. There is only love. So, you know, a child may be struggling with something, and really the soft fur and gentle eyes really can help this child through some difficult times, just by being there, just by knowing that.
She knows you're talking about.
I know.
He knows.
He does.
Boy, yeah.
It is, yeah. And so in other communities as well, so for example, we have a number of dogs in various police departments or our CMP detachments that work with the victim services personnel there. Okay. And those dogs come alongside and help the professionals with individuals that are basically having one of the worst days of their lives. So from even the very beginning, with interviews with victim services folks from the very beginning, our dogs can go through with a client right through until like court proceedings as well. Like our dogs can be trained to be quiet and sit next, well, lie next to the person on the that's maybe on the witness stand giving testimony. So these dogs provide support all the way through the criminal the justice system for these individuals, especially those that may feel that they need the loving support of a dog.
Meredith, is there another area where the dogs play big roles?
So what we also have is called our VIP, or Very Important Pet Program. Some of the dogs, through training and through their training processes and things like that, let us know that maybe they don't want a life in public. Maybe they don't want to be a working dog. And so we have a program where they are placed in families that have special needs individuals. So maybe a child or an adult that has special needs. So the dog no longer has public access, which means that it just becomes a beloved pet. Okay. But it's a very highly skilled dog. So when the family is looking for a pet that maybe can help with the individual that has various disabilities and things like that, that may not be ready for a service dog or may not feel that they need a service dog, they can actually have the benefits of a very well-trained dog without actually having to do the work themselves, because it is a lot of work taking those 8-week-old puppies and turning them into the service dogs that you see out in public. So, and not every dog wants to do that, and you know, it's like asking, not everybody wants to be a airline pilot, not everybody wants to be a surgeon. So we all have different personalities, just like our dogs, and some of them tell us that they really want to be somebody's beloved pet. And so, yeah, those families get to enjoy these beautiful animals, and it helps with just their daily life. We've had lots of people tell us how much they've appreciated having these well-mannered pets in their home with their child that maybe suffers from a various illness that may not allow them to have a pet of, more rambunctious nature.
And now, how can families in the Tri-Cities can foster or become a foster family for PADS?
So we rely heavily on our volunteer community, our volunteer village, if you will. Our volunteers are the most crucial part of our organization because they take those 8-week-old puppies and turn them into the superhero service dogs that you see out in public. It is something that I did for many, many years. My husband and I were PADS volunteers before I joined the staff team. And basically you take on raising these 8-week-old puppies, and you attend class on a weekly basis, or during COVID we did go to an online platform, so we're now in a hybrid, so you have one class in person and one class online. So it allows for a lot more individuals to become part of the community, because not everybody can make it to our facilities once a week. It's a lot of work. And so you learn how to train these dogs to become assistance dogs. So there's a series of videos that you watch, and you learn a certain way how to train these dogs, because it's a little different than your pet dog. And we use methods that are all reward based, and we want to make sure that the welfare of the dog is always topmost in our mind. The health of the dog is always looked at, so we want to make sure that our volunteers are aware of the training methodologies that we use. So it does take between 6 and 8 weeks to become on board as a PADS volunteer, but we're always looking for people, and especially in the Tri-Cities area, we have a small community already here, and we'd love to bring more people involved, because it is really, honestly, they are the best people. A number of years ago, I joined the volunteer village, and I have now all my friends are PADS people. I have joined the staff team, and it's my life. I love it more than anything, and I really hope that people that want to give back to their community, enjoy working with dogs, enjoy working with people, take this as an opportunity to volunteer with us and learn just how amazing these dogs are, and the feeling you get when the work that you've put into these dogs comes back from the love and appreciation of the individuals that this dog is helping. It's undescribable.
I can feel your passion, and we are a dog family. We love our family. We love our dog. So I can feel. I know what you're talking about, but understanding the work you put into a dog, and now it's going to help someone in another way that someone that can't hear, someone, you know, like someone that has disability and you don't have. It's kind of almost an extension of yourself. It's amazing.
Yeah, and there's often people ask the question, well, how do you give these dogs up? You spend, you know, just under a year with these beautiful, amazing animals, and just when they start to get really well behaved, you give them away.
Yeah, I know, you've done the work, right?
You give them away. And I've been asked that question many years as a volunteer and as a staff person, like, how do you give them up? It's hard. It is hard. But as I said, when you get the love back in so many different ways and unknown ways as well. I've been stopped on the street many a times when I either have my PADS gear on or I'm walking a PADS dog, and they're like, thank you. Thank you so much. My brother, my mother, my sister, some part of their extended family says, I've been touched by a PADS dog. PADS dogs have made my life better. Yeah. And it just, the question then becomes, how can I not?
Yes.
How can I not do this?
And now if someone would like to register or is interested in knowing a little bit more, where can they get in touch with PADS to be a foster family? It's
super easy. Our website is pads.ca, pads.ca. We've got all of the information on our website. We run volunteer information sessions, which we call puppy days, every couple of months, so that's always going to be updated on our website. And our social media, we're always trying to post beautiful pictures of our dogs, of our teams, of our people, and you know, just the work that they're doing out in the community, doing those awesome things. So yeah, so you can get in touch with us. PADS Dogs is our handles on all social media. So yeah.
So you did touch a little bit on when a family that wants to foster a dog and wants to train the dog. You touch on there's videos and there's different things to do, I guess, before to have the dog. So now I want to know what kind of support and training like a family would have like while the dog is in the house or with them. Yes. I know you said there's like weekly training, but let's say if there's a problem or like, or I'm not sure, something doesn't go exactly like they thought it would, or how do you guys take care of those special situations?
Yeah. So having lived the life, I know that we have an amazing team of dog trainers. These individuals are very skilled, and they will, if you have issues with your dog, a training issue, then these individuals will be able to help you with that. We have a medical team that is phenomenal, that are truly dedicated to our pups and our people as well. So any sort of medical problems, any emergencies that come up, because it happens, we know life, we have an emergency hotline that people can call if there are issues that come up. So we always want to make sure that everybody's healthy and happy. And the village, our volunteer village, we have a community of individuals that love the same thing, are passionate about these dogs, and we have Facebook groups and WhatsApp chats and all this sort of stuff that connect us together. And so there is never a lack of somebody to call if you need a shoulder to cry on, because this can get hard. It is a big commitment, but it's an amazing life-changing journey. Like our tagline is, raise a puppy, change a life. And often it is your life. Like for me, it was my life that changed. I've felt so much better now being a part of this community, and I'm coming up on 13 years with this PADS family, so it really did change my life. And so we do have the support of the community. We have professional trainers, we have professional medical people, veterinary technicians, so we have the support available to the families that bring these beautiful little pups into their life. And it can be overwhelming, and it's never a bad thing to reach out for help, because we're all there. We've all been there. We've all been there, and we've lived to tell the tale. So, you know, it really is something that is an amazing journey, and I invite all of your community to come out and figure it and come and join us.
Yes. So now I want to know, I know you talked about the big team of volunteers you have, but are you guys doing any fundraising, or how you guys are getting the association, like the society funded? How does that work?
So we are a nonprofit organization, so we rely heavily on donations from the community, as well as the corporate donations and things like that. So this past summer we completed our International Assistance Dog Week in August. We ran a lovely campaign there where we featured one of our clients that has a mobility dog, and that went really, really well. We then did what we were calling our Dog Days of Summer, which is a 50-50 fundraiser, so that'll come out very shortly. This has been pre-recorded, so unfortunately it's not going to be available for that, but there will be other fundraising opportunities as we move through the year. You know, our Christmas campaign is coming up. I've got some big plans, lots of little puppies, and Santa, you know, they've been good this year. So Santa's going to hopefully visit us. And yeah, I mean, we're always interested in partnering with organizations that want to fundraise for their various communities. And so we're always looking for new and different ideas as to how to raise funds, because it is $35,000 to train these dogs.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the veterinarian bills and the food bills have gone up over the last few years by, you know, great leaps and bounds. So we actually do not charge our clients to be placed, to have a dog with them. So we do rely heavily on donations from the public. So we are always sort of looking for ways to uniquely fundraise. And there will be just the Daggerad Brewing company that is just out in Burnaby there. They're doing what's called Dagger Patch, so we'll have a fundraiser out there. I believe the dates are just that weekend before Halloween, so you can come out and carve pumpkins, meet dogs, have a lot of fun.
That's great. Yes, yeah. Definitely. Yes. Send me the link for that.
We'll get you that information.
My little kids will love it.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah, so now I want to know, if we have a reason to that we may want a dog, how do we apply? What is the process to be able to have one of these beautiful, lovely creatures changing our lives?
So it's, again, very simple. Our website is pads.ca, and to apply, there's just pads.ca/apply. And it's a relatively simple process to put your name on the waiting list, but once you're accepted through to the program, there is a little bit more information that is required, because we want to make sure that we match the dog with the individual. So like temperaments, similar lifestyles, like activity levels, things like that, so that we create really great working teams that go out into the world and just do amazing things. So yeah, if anyone is interested, would like to learn more about applying for a service dog, pads.ca/apply. There's a lot of information there. It can be, you can see the different types of dogs and figure out which one might be the best one for you if you're interested. So yeah.
It's pretty simple.
And we try to make it simple.
Yeah, I was wondering if there's a fee. It's amazing to be able to offer this to our community here locally.
Yeah, our service dogs go to individuals without, like, there's minimal processing fee. Like, I can't even remember that. It's minimal costs. So, yeah, there's a smaller cost for our accredited facility dogs, just depending upon the organization that they'll be working with. But really, it's not much. It's not much compared to how much we spend on these babies.
Wow, it's amazing. I'm sure you have some beautiful testimony, families that you've been helped or individual. Can you share some of them with us?
I can share many things, and it's a little bit of a it's common knowledge within the PADS community that Meredith is a little bit emotional, so I will get a little emotional when I talk about these people, because I admire them and their strength and their resilience, and their stories of coming back are amazing. So the first one is Team Stark. The dog is named Stark, and he is partnered with one of our very first PTSD clients, and she was a RCMP officer, and there was issues with not being able to go outside, and just not living her life anymore. She had many interests, very active lifestyle, but the symptoms of PTSD caused her to not be able to leave her own home. Partnered with the dog, and not 6 months later, she was class valedictorian of our graduating class that year. She spoke in front of a room of over 200 people. That woman is inspiring. And now she's gone on to make documentaries with, like, she's been a subject of a documentary for TELUS. And I marvel at her resilience and her strength. I have another good friend who has cerebral palsy, and she is in a motorized chair, and she lives independently, and she is able to live out of her parents' house because she has a dog that helps pick up things off the ground. She has the dog able to retrieve her things that she has left over on the table, and the dog can go and get that for her, and she lives independently, and she's proud of that, and I just admire her so much for that. There are also, there's amazing people that are doing things at hospitals. We have Pads Roo there at Surrey Memorial, and that dog is making sure that some of those families that are dealing with emergency situations have a soft, because Roo is a golden retriever, and so they're very fluffy. You're fluffy too, but you're not as fluffy as a golden retriever.
He's sorry. Okay, Mama.
Right? And so, there is a dog, I think locally here, Pads Benji works with a principal at a school, and the children, I get to see Benji when they come in during first thing in the morning. They wave to Benji, how's it going, Benji? And it's just such a beautiful thing to see those children having a good day because Benji's in the building. So, there's just so many amazing things. And honestly, there's been hearing dog clients where they've been able to, again, live independently and not necessarily reliant on family members to let them know when the telephone rings or when they've dropped their keys. Imagine walking down the street and you drop something out of your pocket and your keys are on the floor. You didn't hear that. The dog will be able to
I feel I might need a dog. A lot of things I forget sometimes.
The dog will alert that individual, and then they'll be able to pick up their keys, and they will not have to.
I can totally see this if you can't hear. And I have all my senses, and things happen. So imagine if I couldn't hear or couldn't see, or So what's the difference between someone that can't see, that needs a dog, and the pet dogs?
So our dogs are service dogs, and the seeing eye dog or guide dogs are very different. So they are trained differently from our dogs, just because the individual that is partnered with a guide dog cannot see, whereas all of our clients they have their vision, so they can see what they're doing. So there's just a different mindset when it comes to what the dog's skills are. When someone is visually impaired and crossing the street, the dog has to be able to navigate that situation, whereas our dogs don't have to do that. They are with a person that has sight, so it's not the same sort of thing at all. And so our colleagues at other schools, they do train guide and service dogs, but we train service dogs.
Yeah. Is there something that we forgot that you would like to add?
Well, this gentleman here is Pads Stellar, and he is part of the bird litter. He was named in honor of a very special person named Neil McLean, and his family chose to honor his memory by naming a litter of puppies. And so you do that, you get to name the puppies. They chose BC birds, and this is Pads Stellar, and Stellar has just joined our breeding program, so his big job is to make more Pads puppies.
Okay.
So he's got one of the best jobs.
Making puppies. Amazing. Yeah.
He's pretty chilled about it. He's pretty excited, aren't you, bud?
So Meredith, do the dogs get to keep their names?
Yes, generally they get to keep their names. What happens is that we are part of Assistance Dog International, so ADI, which is the world standard for assistance dogs. And on rare occasions when the dog goes to a different school, they will sometimes change their name. So we will have dogs coming from other schools where the name changes, but it's it only happens when we do an import or an export from a different school. So yeah, he's Pad's stellar. Yeah.
Yes, he's beautiful.
Thank you.
Meredith, thank you so much for joining us today. For everyone that is listening to us, I want to say a big thank you from Tri-Cities Community Television and myself, Genevieve Kyle-Lefebvre. See you next time.